Hi, and welcome to Present Pilgrimage, the podcast where we explore current affairs through a spiritual lens. I'm Jennifer Winninger. I'm a white woman born in Atlanta, Georgia. I have lived in 2 African countries and visited over 25 countries all over the world. Once married to an Egyptian Muslim, I have 2 biracial and multicultural children.
I'm Iyabo Onipede. I'm a multicultural, biracial immigrant woman of color, and I have this unwavering belief that every single life has immense and incredible value. My core values center around compassion, equity, and justice.
Some of the questions Iyabo and I want to ask you all and talk about are, how can some of our more dehumanizing and limiting behaviors be examined, looked at, and transformed? Can we learn how to train ourselves to behave more humanely towards others who are seemingly different from us? Can we learn to quiet the voices of fear and suspicion and open ourselves up to connection, learning, and understanding some of our core values?
Thanks for listening to this podcast. Jennifer and I invite you to tap into your core values and join us on this journey as we explore current issues. Might we all begin to view the world through these amazing lenses of our deepest core values? Welcome to Present Pilgrimage. Hi, welcome back to Present Pilgrimage. So this week, listen, we have 26-year-old Mariah Parker, who took her oath this week as a county commissioner in the Athens-Clarke County area, which is where University of Georgia is. I think it's about an hour and a half from Atlanta. And she's 26. She has the best afro I have ever seen in my life. She's an African-American woman. She is a rapper. And when she took her oath, she has her hand lifted up in a fist like Black Power, swore on the Malcolm X autobiography of Malcolm X, written by Alex Haley, and her mom is looking at her with absolute love and devotion in her eyes. And she won this campaign by 13 votes. Right? So
every vote counts.
Every vote counts. So in a county of 45,000 voters, I think I read somewhere, only about 6,500 people voted, and she won. And Jennifer, tell us what happened after she won.
So I'm a part of several Facebook groups that are progressive, advocating for social justice. And on one of these Facebook groups that I go on every day and I read the posts, and these are women who are super involved in politics and social justice, boots on the ground every day. And part of the usefulness, in my opinion, of social media is important information, crucial information gets passed around quickly and can be shared and made public. And one of these things was a post by this person, Rick Hammond, who was listed on his Facebook page at the time, there's a screenshot taken, as a sergeant in the Athens-Clarke County Police Department. 1 hour after his screenshotted comments were shared, he changed that to retired. But basically, several pieces of his comments on that page were officially death threats. They were threats to Mariah's life. And the gist of it was, no one knows when their car brakes might fail, or I don't know if it was a motorcycle or car. That can happen suddenly, and it doesn't have to be traced to anything deliberate. So it can be done without warning, just saying. That was the gist of what he said, and it was on his own Facebook page. That comment has since been screenshotted and passed around and has now been shown to and taken to the Georgia Bureau of Investigations. In my opinion, it's a threat. It's a death threat, and that's a crime. And it's very offensive to me that this white man thought it was simply fine and okay to post on his Facebook page this kind of, in my opinion, very cowardly statement, assuming, explicitly saying that he wouldn't be caught if that happened, but he just threw it out there, and maybe for anybody to think that they would be justified in doing this.
Right. So this woman is a PhD student in linguistics and a rapper that goes by the name Lingua Franca, Parker. Her platform is about this. She says the university extracts a lot of resources from this community and doesn't give back enough. So I think that, one, she caught people's attention because her swearing in was... The language I would use was she was making a statement and wanted to be in all her glorious blackness, the afro, the black power hand, and her mother there, and swearing on this book by Malcolm X about the autobiography of Malcolm X. I think that, she's making a statement. She wants you to know what she's coming for. She's opposed to gentrification and how university resources are being used. She also is really keen on that county setting aside 30% of funds for Latino and Black subcontractors, funding for projects by Latino and Black subcontractors. So here's the thing. Black women are doing this thing. They're running for office. They're winning. We're supporting them. This young woman has values that she's articulating. I am anti-gentrification in that, and it's sort of a mixed bag for me because I've been in support of it before, naively, like, oh look, this neighborhood is improving. It'll be so cute.
There'll be a Whole Foods coming in.
Yeah, there's a Whole Foods coming in, and they're sprucing it up. It's going to spruce up my property values. I want us to understand the cost of gentrification, and in one of the next episodes, we're going to talk about some of this some more from a different angle. But it's basically, this could cost her life.
Yes.
To fight for Black people to own their own homes, it could cost her life. Because white people that believe, A, the power belongs to them.
Yes.
And gentrification is perfectly okay. You shouldn't run on that platform, right?
Yeah.
Because you're really speaking against big money, which is, politics is all about big money. So basically she's being threatened because she has a social justice agenda.
And she's very upfront about it.
Right.
Which is her right to be. She has every right to, swear on the autobiography of Malcolm X. She has every right to make that gesture.
Yeah. Let's talk about that, because some of the comments were, she didn't swear on the Bible. Well, you don't have to.
No.
And then, some people would settle for the Quran because at least that means that's her faith. But what happens if you're an atheist? Or what happens if the beliefs you have about the changes Malcolm X wanted to put in the world are the driving force behind your agenda?
Yeah.
And so that's what you choose to swear on.
And what happened to separation of church and state?
Right. So, nobody must be sworn in on a Bible. In fact, that's kind of controversial because that is not a separation of church and state. And I think there should be separation of church and state. When I took the bar and I was sworn in, I didn't have to swear on a Bible to be a member of the State Bar of Georgia.
And right now the environment is so dangerous because there is this conflation between white supremacy and Christianity.
Yes.
And it's become so much more intertwined in a very dangerous way. And as a Christian, both of us, we have a serious issue with that.
I have big issues with it.
So,
big issues.
White supremacy and Christianity are not the same thing.
No, they're not. And, for both of us, we've traveled to different parts of the world, and we know we are both intimately familiar with other expressions of Christianity. Yeah. So maybe that's why we see it. It's easier for us to see it. But one of the things I would love for us to continue to do on this podcast is to continue to untangle white supremacy and Christianity, how they're conflated, and how we begin to separate them.
Yes, and another part of that I want to address, and there was a really interesting post on my Facebook page from one of these groups was, how can the same people like Sessions and Pence and the people who support them, who are encouraging the separation of families at the borders, people legally seeking asylum, refugees coming to this country, they say it's okay to put these children in pens and keep them there, separated from their families. These same people go on mission trips to these third developing countries trying to help them. It's so hypocritical, and it just makes me sick.
Yes, absolutely. You're so right about that. I think that we hit a nail on the head here about white supremacist culture being conflated with Christianity. The finish line keeps moving, Jennifer. The finish line keeps moving. Oh, we love families, except when it's not ours.
Yeah.
You know, we believe in separation of church and state. Oh, well, you can't swear on a non-Bible. Mm-hmm. You know, so the finish line keeps moving, and that's unfair. That's unfair to people who are different, who don't believe like us.
And I'm offended as a person who has Christian values that these people are claiming to be Christians and trying to say that they are, because in my opinion, they are not.
Right.
People who are currently abusing, and abusing human rights, who are, I don't see them as Christian.
Yeah, I see Christianity is not a tool, it's a life. It's a lifestyle. And when you use it as a tool to promote the end you were looking to get to anyway, then you're no longer living in the faith of it. Yes. You're no longer living, because you're not being metamorphed by it. You're not being transformed and changed by it. So
Jeff Sessions, you have your Christianity card revoked.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.